sustainable development, economic and development cooperation, science and technological collaboration, education, culture, people-to-people relations, and the areas that are now emerging at the forefront of their cooperation, which includes critical and emerging technologies, defense and security, and, as I said earlier, skilling and mobility. Relations between India and Germany have been on a constant upswing in recent years. Our bilateral trade stood at $33 billion in 2023, and cumulative German investments in India amount to nearly $15 billion. As both sides pointed out on repeated occasions during this morning's discussions in multiple formats, there has been substantial progress made, but there is still significant potential in the relationship that remains to be exploited. In the political and security domain, counterterrorism cooperation featured as an important element in the discussions between the two leaders. And in order to promote closer cooperation, in order to investigate and prosecute criminals, including for the crimes of terrorism, there was a very important agreement that was concluded during this visit, which is the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty in Criminal Matters, and the agreement on exchange of information, on the exchange and mutual protection of classified information. As I said, defense cooperation has emerged in recent years as a very promising area of bilateral cooperation. We have seen an appreciable change and evolution in the regulatory environment insofar as export clearances for India are concerned, and this is a very welcome development. There have been increasing interactions and exchanges between the armed forces of the two countries. I referred to the naval exercise that has just been held, and as part of Germany's Indo-Pacific deployment, two German ships, frigate Baden-Württemberg and a supply ship, Frankfurt am Main, are making port calls in Goa, and the German Chancellor will be visiting these ships personally tomorrow. One of the themes, or rather the main theme of this year's IGC was also growing together with innovation, mobility and sustainability. And the central focus was technology and innovation. And in keeping with this, the leaders launched the India-Germany Innovation and Technology Partnership Roadmap, which will guide the two countries' efforts in the areas of renewable energy, startups, semiconductors, AI, quantum computing and skill development. On the front of sustainable development and clean energy, both leaders welcomed the launch on the occasion of this visit of the Green Hydrogen Roadmap, which will facilitate production and trade in green hydrogen, and the German interlocutors mentioned the prospects of India emerging as a major green hydrogen production hub, which would then in turn benefit the clean energy objectives of a number of partner countries, including Germany. India and Germany are also cooperating in third countries under the framework of the trilateral partnership, and this is a development cooperation initiative in which we cooperate on development projects in third countries, and there are three pilot projects that are currently running in African countries, and during the course of this IGC we have announced new projects on millets in Madagascar and Ethiopia. Finally, one other area which I pointed out earlier has emerged as a major area in the relationship, which is the migration and mobility of skilled professionals and students between the two countries. Today, at around 50,000, Indian students form the largest cohort of foreign students in Germany. And it might interest you to know that the Indian community in Germany today stands at 250,000, and it has doubled in just the last 4 years in size. So that gives an a snapshot of the progress that has been made in this particular area. Prime Minister, therefore, welcomed the German government's recent strategy to attract skilled labor from India, and indeed all German leaders during the IGC emphasized on the intention and desire of Germany to further increase this intake of skilled professionals and talent from India. During the IGC, both sides concluded a joint declaration of intent on labor and employment, and also an MOU on skill development. Tomorrow, as I said, the German Chancellor, accompanied by the German Foreign Minister and other German dignitaries, will be visiting Goa. He'll visit the 2 German ships that are making a port call there. Our Minister of State for Defense and the Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Western Naval Command will receive the Chancellor in Goa. The visit will end tomorrow evening, when the Chancellor will return to Berlin from Goa tomorrow evening. Just a few other points. There will be a joint statement that will give you a fuller insight into the developments and the progress registered between the 2 sides in discussions over the course of the last year. There will also be details of the agreements that have been signed. My understanding is that close to 18 agreements or documents were concluded between the 2 sides on this occasion. 8 of these were exchanged in front of the leaders, but the full list, I imagine, will be publicly available. There were also a number of key announcements, as many as 7 announcements that were made. They include the placement of a German liaison officer in the Indian Ocean Region Information Fusion Center here in Gurugram, Germany's support for India's observer status in the Eurodrone program, German projects and funding commitments of 20 million euros under the Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative, instituting regional consultations between the foreign offices of India and Germany on various regional matters. I've already referred to the millet pilot project in Madagascar and Ethiopia. A green and sustainable development partnership dashboard was launched on this occasion, and the first international research training group between India and Germany was established on this occasion. With that, let me stop here, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Can we start with Ajay there?
Good evening, Foreign Secretary. I'm Ajay Banerjee with the Tribune. So my question pertains to the transfer of technology which Germany is promising with regards to making of submarines in India. Have they mentioned the submarines to us? Is there a talk about technology transfer? And is India satisfied with Germany's recent changes in the regulation with regards to transfer of technology?
Ayushi?
So good evening, this is Ayushi from MEA. So did the issue of Arya Shah, the Indian child in German foster care, come up during the discussion with the German Chancellor? Also, was there any talks regarding her repatriation, since it has been more than 3 years now? Thank you.
Uma?
I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Financial Express. I have 2 questions. One is related to, was the India-EU FTA come up for discussions? And the second is, you talked about the green hydrogen roadmap. If you can share some more details about it.
Padma?
Padma Rao, independent correspondent on assignment for Frankfurter Rundschau. Foreign Secretary, there is an ICM, India Center for Migration. It's an e-portal set up by the Ministry of External Affairs. To my understanding, this was set up primarily to ensure the safety of recruitment procedures for Indians, mostly for Indians going to the Gulf. Is this portal more a protective cover for those wishing to go abroad and not to promote, or does it also promote migration to go abroad? And roughly, if so, then roughly what percentage would have of those going to Germany would have used this portal? And I have one follow-up on Ariha. Since you mentioned the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty in criminal matters, whether that is likely to affect the baby Ariha case. Thank you.
We have 4 questions.
So let me take these questions. Ajay, on your question of the transfer of technology for submarines, as you know, there is a project that is underway where the Ministry of Defence is involved in an exercise to assess competing offers for the submarines that India wishes to procure. This is an ongoing technical, financial and commercial process, so it's not yet been completed. Obviously, yes, the German side is interested in this issue, and there was a reference made on this, but I think it would be very difficult to say anything until such time as a commercial agreement is concluded between the two sides on this issue. On the other part of your question with regard to regulations on transfer of technology and related to the defense ecosystem as a whole, as I said, we've seen very promising developments over not just developments but also actions that have been taken in terms of clearances that have been facilitated over the course of the last couple of years, and increasingly there has been an opening up of this sector, something that I would say has not happened on this scale in previous years. So this is, from our perspective, a very, very welcome development, and it offers much greater confidence in the plan that both countries have to set up a durable and sustainable defense industrial cooperation roadmap, which also came up for discussion between the two leaders. Ayushi, on the issue related to Ariha Shah, who, as you know, is currently in Germany under foster care, has been followed very, very closely by us at various levels. We've taken it up here. Our embassy in Berlin has taken it up regularly with the German side. When the External Affairs Minister was in Germany a few weeks ago, he had raised it very strongly with his counterparts. And yes, I can confirm that it was raised during the meeting today as well. We have at all levels impressed upon the German side that an Indian child who is growing up in an environment that is not her cultural, religious, linguistic environment is somewhat unnatural, and that this situation needs to be addressed, and that these particular rights of the child can only be addressed if the child grows up in an Indian environment. What I can say to you is that the Chancellor assured the Prime Minister that he was very closely following this issue and continued to pay close attention to this issue, and I'm sure the two sides will remain in touch on this issue through multiple channels which are ongoing. The efforts are ongoing. On the India-EU FTA, Huma, I don't know if you followed the APK addresses this morning. You would have seen that the German Chancellor himself, I think, made a reference to the India-EU FTA in his remarks. And then in the IGC consultations as well, the issue was raised by multiple interlocutors, and a desire was expressed that this should be taken forward, that it's remained pending for very long. As the largest economy in the European Union, we certainly value the support of Germany in these ongoing negotiations, and I think Germany really understands the fact that the expeditious conclusion of the India-EU FTA makes not just business sense, but amongst two trusted partners such as India and Germany, it is also a strategic imperative especially when you take the larger global economic environment into account. On the green hydrogen roadmap, essentially, I think you will probably be able to see once the document details are available, but this is something that has been worked on between the two sides through wide-ranging stakeholder consultations, and is intended largely to guide the efforts of the public sector, the private sector, industries and research institutions on the production, utilization and storage of green hydrogen. As you are aware, we have a national green hydrogen mission that has been launched, and the idea is to develop production facilities in India by manufacturing electrolyzers and eventually substituting the use of traditional fuels in India, especially in the transportation sector, by green hydrogen, but then also to become, in a sense, the hub of green hydrogen manufacturing and export from India, and in that the partnership with Germany will be a particularly valuable one. On this issue related to the India Center of Migration portal, the arrangements for migration are between the German Federal Employment Agency with our agencies, and in certain cases they are state-based agencies, and Indian skilled workers do use the portal for seeking employment under this program. But we can get you some more details on this particular issue.
Sudhir, you had a question? Speak louder.
Check. Foreign Secretary Sudhir from Bloomberg. If you could give us an understanding on, whether there were discussions, or rather the Prime Minister referred to sharing of emerging critical technology. What kind of discussions happened in that, and what kind of agreements or arrangements we can look forward to? And also, sir, were there any discussions between the two sides on a logistics supply agreement that would greatly help the military cooperation? Thank you.
Rishabh?
Foreign Secretary, good evening. This is Rishabh from Times Now. So I have a question. Can we expect more collaboration in the manufacturing and technology sector, especially with respect to the Make in India initiative that the government of India have? And one more question on skilling. A lot of focus about India, Germany, people-to-people connect, as well as skilling and skill development has been spoken about. If we can have more details on that.
Yeah. We have Madhurendra.
सर, जैसा कि आपने बताया कि भारतीय छात्रों की संख्या बेहद कम समय में डबल हुई है जर्मनी में, तो क्या भारतीय छात्रों के लिए वीज़ा प्रोसेस को ईज़ करने के लिए क्या कोई बातचीत हुई है, इस संदर्भ में कोई डेवलपमेंट हुआ हो? और मेरा दूसरा सवाल है कि इंडो पैसिफिक को लेकर आपने जिक्र किया कि इंडो पैसिफिक में 2 जर्मन शिप्स जो हैं वो डिप्लॉय किए गए हैं, तो इंडो पैसिफिक को लेकर क्या कोई स्पेसिफिक बातचीत दोनों राष्ट्राध्यक्षों के बीच हुई?
Ayansha?
Excellency, this is Ayansha Mitra. Is it possible to mention whether Germany will collaborate on the agricultural and technological front for the millets projects in Ethiopia and Madagascar? Also, if it's possible to elucidate something on the migration and mobility part. Thank you.
Okay, let me on the sharing of critical and emerging technologies. As you are aware, Shruti, in the last few years, we in India have focused on growing or bringing into play reliable supply chains, especially insofar as critical technologies are concerned, and a number of initiatives have been in play with a few countries. In that context, we have had some discussions with Germany as well, and indeed there is an initiative with regard to starting a dialogue with Germany that is focused on critical and emerging technologies. I think there is a reference to this in the joint statement as well, and the one that will be released this evening, it will have more details on this issue. But I can confirm to you that we have reached in principle agreement to devote specific attention, particular attention to this area of critical and emerging technologies, and I imagine we'll take it forward in the coming times.
अगर आप बनना चाहते हैं एंकर या फिर आप में है जुनून एक तेज तर्रार न्यूज रिपोर्टर बनने का, तो आप ज्वाइन करें ITV